Start.
Yeah, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I welcome you all to the fourth session that we are organizing from Derbi Health Hub on ethical guidelines for AI and biomedical research. Through the Health Hub platform of Derbi Foundation, we hope to close the knowledge gap in medicine and research to foster innovation. And today we will discuss the application of AI on biomedical research and healthcare. Artificial intelligence or AI is a rapidly evolving technology that has the power to transform the way we conduct biomedical research and deliver healthcare. AI can help us discover new drugs, diagnose diseases, personalize treatment, monitor health, and improve the outcomes. However, AI also raises many ethical questions and concerns that we need to address as a responsible for ethical community. The questions include like how we can ensure that AI is transparent, explainable, and trustworthy. How can we protect the privacy and confidentiality of human participants and their data? Or how can we prevent and mitigate the basis of discrimination in AI? How can we ensure that AI is accessible, equitable, and beneficial for all? How can we foster collaboration and accountability among all stakeholders involving in AI? Or how we can balance innovation and regulation in AI? So these are not an easy question to be answered, but they are crucial for the ethical development and use of AI in biomedical research and healthcare. And that's why here we are today to learn and to explore the ethical guidelines and the principles that can guide us in this endeavor. So today we have our subject expert matter, Sudhir Patel, founder and director of Query Clinical Research Private Limited. He has over 20 years of experience in clinical research, regulatory affairs, quality assurance, and project management. He has obtained ethical clearance for over 100 clinical trials across various therapeutic areas and phases, as an active member of the South Chapter of Indian Society for Clinical Research and holds a post of secretary at Human Ethical Committee Association, an initiative to set up common platform for all ethical committees in India to learn, interact, and communicate. So, dear viewers and participants, make sure that any questions you have, you can drop down in the comment section. We will take it over when in end of this session. Over to you, Mr. Sudhir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Aditya. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Please carry on.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you once again for this opportunity. And today we are here with the new topic. Word is not new for everyone. Obviously, artificial intelligence has become a the part of life now, and everywhere we are either talking about artificial intelligence or using the devices or the technology which has this intelligence. So now today, first of all, I am not a subject expert of AI, but yes, today with the perspective of clinical research, where we all are into the healthcare and clinical research is part of healthcare, we thought when the technology comes, certainly we all like it to use it, and everyone is enjoying their benefits of the technology, but same time there are certain risks associated with the use of technology. So same way, artificial intelligence is also the technology which is widely spreading, and especially into the healthcare as well. So we thought this will be a relevant session for all of you, where we will touch base, may not go in a very detailed, but at least a touch base that there are some ethical concerns which we all have to take care while use of the AI into the clinical research, into the healthcare. So let me, I have a few slides to present, and let me share that. So is screen visible, Dr.
Yes, yes, yes.
Today we'll just talk about the introduction and purpose, the scope, application of AI, ethical principles of AI in healthcare, and guiding principles for the stakeholders for all of us, and the conclusion. So what is AI? I think not required to discuss on this, because we all know that about what is AI and how it works. So it is mainly the processing of the external data and throwing the conclusions and the results outcomes. So that's how it works. Maybe the and why are we discussing that is very important, because that AI has a rapid expansion in healthcare. AI is applicable in each and every field, but especially in healthcare, it is rapidly expanding because it concerns the health. And there are a lot of, I think Dr. Aditya has already mentioned in his introduction that where it is going to help us. So same we are going to discuss in this. So when we are saying it is impacting, so which of the key areas are impacting by AI in healthcare? So one is a disease identification. We will go into the detail about that. The disease identification is one. The diagnostics, the conclusion on the once the disease identification, or maybe how precise result can be given by this or AI can give a precise result. Medical imaging. So all, I think in this one of the picture or image, you can make out that there are certain images, radiology images, and there are many images. So the medical imaging has AI is playing a significant role. Personalized medicine, personalized wellness plan, public health surveillance. So these are the key areas where AI is impacting into the healthcare. So ICMR has come up with ethical guideline, and ICMR, we always know that ICMR is a proactive institute, and always as soon as when the corona strike, ICMR was the first one who came with guideline on in during the COVID, guideline of conduct of clinical research during the COVID time. So they were the ICMR 2020, which is known as a 2020. So same way, when this AI has widely spreading in healthcare, ICMR has come up with one more guideline for ethical concerns, ethical aspects involved while implementing the research which is involving AI. Now here, ICMR, for all of you, it is important to know, when we talk about the ICMR guideline, our regulation perspective, ICMR guidelines are applicable for biomedical research only. So this is not for the drug trials, whereas the drug trials have a separate regulation that is called New Drug Clinical Trial Regulation, separate body called Central Drug Standard Control of Organization, CDSCO, controlling that trials. So we are not talking about that. But when we talk about the ICMR guideline, that guideline is applicable for the biomedical research. So biomedical research is always like mostly that AI related whatever research is there, where the artificial intelligence is used, that all research typically falls under the biomedical research. And hence it is applicable to us to talk about the ICMR guideline, which is known as National Ethical Guideline of Biomedical Research. The National Ethical Guideline of Biomedical Research first they come up with the guideline in year 2017, followed by they have different revisions during COVID time, they again related to the artificial intelligence and so on. So ICMR guideline is talking about the ethical principles, stakeholder guidance. Now, what is stakeholders? Who all are the stakeholders? When we do the research, we are the stakeholders. Primarily researcher, who is an innovator, investigator, in other language we say investigator, regulators, ethics committee, participants, these all are stakeholders of the research. So the guideline covers everyone. Ethical principles, ethics review process, how your research will undergo the review process, governance, and the informed consent. So these are the points which they have highlighted in the guidelines which is related to the artificial intelligence. Now, very important to understand the scope of this guideline, purpose, as well as the scope of this guideline. So what is the purpose? First, to provide an ethics framework. Maybe we as a product developer or we as innovator, we are expert in that particular product, concept of the product. But ethics framework, what are the ethical concerns which you have to take care while development of the AI related product and while use of this product. What are the ethics related concerns which stakeholders to take care, that this guideline is going to guide us. So that is a purpose. Now scope, applicable to whom? So applicable for the all stakeholders, intended stakeholders involved in artificial intelligence research in healthcare. Now, who all are they? Including creators, developers, technicians, researchers, clinicians, ethics committees, institutions, sponsors, and the funding organizations. I think this has covered everyone. So the first part, like the who all are developing that, and then who all are testing this device, and who all are clearing and regulating this. So this guideline is applicable to them as well. Now, these are the few direct parameters where the AI works, and AI helps especially into the healthcare. So diagnostic and screening, we all are aware nowadays. I mean, previously also we were having a lot of manual tools and tools related to the kits, but there, with the help of AI and AI-based technologies, have reduced the manual efforts, also the reduced human specific errors, and started giving the precise information about the disease and identity of that particular disease. So it is helping a lot in terms of the diagnostic and screening. Obviously, it is quick, less painful. Many nowadays, we are also, because being in the clinical research and especially primarily dealing with the ethics committee, we keep receiving such kind of product for reviewing and granting the approval. So we are seeing that the many innovations are coming. If I started this organization in year 2016, and if I can just in last 8 years, if I can see, there is a big jump in receiving, in fact, last 1 or 2 years, big jump in numbers of the AI related products, and especially medical device for the ethics committee clearance. And each and every device is better than the previous processes. So the main advantage, that same process will be existing in a manual way, but they will come up with the less tedious process as well as the less harmful and more patient-friendly processes. Therapeutic drug discovery and development. So the precision medicine tailors treatments here with all, let's say your disease has been identified. That's the one factor which is covered in the diagnostic and testing in a screening. After that, what is the next step? The next step is tailor-made the treatment. So system AI built softwares, AI built technology, considering all your demographic data, considering all your disease profile, trend of the disease, it will tailor-made the treatment and create a wellness plan for you. So recently we were working with one of the developer, and there what we understood is after taking all that disease related data, their reports, lab reports, other investigational reports, the end goal with the help of AI is to give the tailor-made treatment. Imagine if the same process has to be done manually by the doctor. So one is the time consuming. Also, same time, all the data to review all the data, it is quite a challenging. Same with the help of AI has become easy. Third is clinical care. Now in clinical care, AI addresses healthcare workforce shortages. Obviously, we do see there is a workforce shortages, many places that the staff challenges are there. Either less staff or less trained staff, and all these challenges can be overcome with the help of artificial intelligence related tools. So here the telemedicine is one of the clear example, and which we all have experienced, especially in the corona time when telemedicine has become one of the suitable option for all of us. And after that, it has continued. And in today also, the telemedicine's approach has become a widely used with the different use of the intelligence. And the prevention of disease with the help of artificial intelligence, it has become a vital tool to assess the disease trend and become a early predictors of any kind of epidemic disease. So this has become this has started using AI technology in prevention of diseases as well. Not only the clinical care, not only the identification, but in prevention also, the use of AI is significant. So you can see that it has covered almost all the steps: prevention, identification, and clinical care as well. Behavioral and mental health care. So there also it plays a very important role. The medical AI models offer significant possibilities in this mental health treatment as well. Health management systems using AI. Hospitals, we are directly dealing with the hospitals, and every hospitals in each and every segment, what we are seeing is currently there is a complete revolution in the hospital and the healthcare sector. Each and every hospital is talking about the new machinery, new laboratories, and new processes which is driven artificial intelligence. We have seen that many machines, in fact when we are visiting to the government hospitals also, some of the machineries are funded by the government, and that machines are with the latest technology which requires less manual interference, and quick and precise results with less cost and with more convenience. So healthcare management system is completely changing with the help of artificial intelligence. I think there are, this is we are talking about the hospitals, but external to hospital as well. The all research organizations, pharma sponsors, those who are funding the research, those who are bringing the research, they also started implementing a many tool which evaluate and which reviews the patient data externally, remotely, and quick way. So they are also implementing the safest tool which driven by artificial intelligence along with the hospitals as well. So far we talk about the what is AI and what is the scope of artificial intelligence, what is the purpose of artificial intelligence, and how it does impact healthcare system. That also we discussed in a detail. But what is more important and what ICMR talks about? So ICMR says that it is good to use the technology. And in fact, if you all remember the ICH GCP, the Good Clinical Practices Guideline, released in year 2016, at that time, well before Corona time, it has mentioned that use the technology to reduce the complexity of clinical research. Everyone knows that the healthcare and the research is a complex. And to reduce that complexity, the GCP has recommended the careful use of technology. And so this is a part of it. So that what is a careful use of the technology? And there the ICMR kind of a institute, GCP and all guiding all the stakeholders that when we use this artificial intelligence kind of a technology, other side we need to take care of ethical principles. So what is the ethical principle talks about, and what is a major risk by using the technology? I am sure you must have heard the word is data confidentiality and the patient safety. So these two are very important factors. Through ethical principles, by taking care of the ethical principles while implementing technology, we all have to take care. So one is a patient safety and other is a data confidentiality, are crucial and must be prioritized throughout the development and deployment both. So this guideline is guiding us on this, primarily these two factors. There are 10 patient-centric ethical principles. Whenever we use this technology, there are 10 ethical principles which we have to take care, which all are there. Autonomy. What is autonomy? Autonomy is the independent to take the decision. The participants, whenever you want to taste your product, you have to take the consent, informed consent, and that consent should be voluntary. Second, safety and risk minimization. While developing the product, while developing the testing plan of the product, you have to take care of the safety and risk. Every product will have a risk and every product will have a benefits. But same time, we need to see the risk benefit ratio and ensure there is a minimal risk. Third, trustworthiness. Now, when the trust will come, when you use or when you use the material while developing your product, which is the tested materials or the safest materials. Also, after developing, before deployment, if you do the proper testing of the device, which provides, which gives the data, and the data gives confidence and trust to the users. And that's how you can achieve the trustworthiness. Data privacy. First, you collect the data which is required only. Do not collect the extra information. And whatever data which you collect, ensure the data is highly protected. First of all, try to avoid that publishing and discussing and displaying the data which shows the participants' demography. Avoid that. That is how the data privacy to be ensured. Accountability and liability. Whenever you do the research, whenever you create your plan of research, mention that who will be the accountable and who will be the liable in case of anything goes wrong. In case if anything goes and unexpected things happen. Most of the time we are in understanding that my product is a risk-free product and there is no kind of a reactions or no adverse event happens because of my product, because it is very safe. But before talking this, we need to have all data with us, which shows that your product and the product material which is used is safe. Because in the device, especially that artificial intelligence related device has primarily the material, whereas the drug which goes inside of the body, but here the device which have a material, and there is a possibility that material might have the hypersensitive reactions to your body. We never know. So you should have a proper tested data available with us. Optimization of data quality. So always the quality is prime factor, whichever in the during development, after deployment, everywhere the data quality aspect is very important. Accessibility and inclusiveness. It is for all, not for one specific sector, but if it is developed, it is everyone can use. Then accessibility, that how it is accessible to the participants, how it is accessible to the community. You should have a clear-cut plan. Collaboration. Now, device is not a one-man show. Device, starting from the development, there is a creators, there is a designers, there are the people, those who are assemble the materials, other part of the device, develop the other parts of the device. The same way, the other all many the funding agency who fund your device, all are collaboration. So the device related study and technology related research is more a collaborations. Non-discrimination and fairness principle. There should not be any kind of a discrimination. So like, okay, this device can be tested only, even if it is written, this device can be tested on adult. No, let's test only on the female, let's test only on male. So that kind of a discrimination should not be there. And validity. Since it is a software, since it is a technology, some validity. Validity of what? Validity of validation. If you are validated, once again, when that validity expired, and you have to do the revalidation. So this all validities to be labeled and to be clear. So these are the 10 patient-centric ethical principles we as the stakeholders have to remember. guiding principles for stakeholders involved in development and deployment. So, as already discussed, the development and deployment is involve diverse expertise. So that this guideline is guiding these all stakeholders, that everyone has to take care of these all ethical principles and ensure the technology's usefulness and equity and acceptance. So the everyone, if all are doing appropriately in line with the ethical guidelines, then the result is it will be accepted largely. Many devices I have seen, the innovators, they are approaching us because we are also into the clinical testing of the device. We are helping many startups in this area. So what we have seen, and this is one of the practical example, when they come up with the device and when we say like this device falls under the class A category, which does not require any kind of a clinical testing as per the rule, but still they insist us, we wanted to do the testing, we wanted to do the clinical testing of our device. Then when we ask why, you know, the responses they want, because they, for the credibility of their technology, credibility of their device, they wanted to do that. And that is what the acceptance. When you go someone with the data, then the acceptance will be there. When you follow the all ethical principles and all the testing requirements as per the norms, certainly the acceptance among the community will be high. Obviously, there are certain processes to be followed, plan to be followed, cost is involved, time is involved. There are many factors which is involved in doing the testing and generating the data as per the process. But still, many would like to go for it, and only the reason of the credibility of their technology. What is the responsibility of the stakeholders? The responsibility is academic researchers. So let's go one by one. That academic researchers, so researchers, those who are an investigator, the product owner, we can say, or technology owner, contribute to innovation and evidence-based practices. So this is what we were talking about. Whatever you use, any kind of a material or any kind of a technology, that should be evidence-based. So you should have the appropriate data which supports to your technology and supports to your innovation. So one is contribute to innovation and evidence-based practices. Industry sponsors, the funding agencies, we call it sponsors, industry, what they should do, they have to provide the resources and support for development and implementation. Many, this Derbi Foundation, they are incubator and they are incubating a lot of many startups. So they are the sponsors, they are supporting them. They are providing the resource. They are connecting you with us. And this is how they are helping to the innovations. Clinicians, hospitals, public health, these are the hospitals and public health, these are the place where the research gets conducted. Hospitals, many hospitals, this research is getting conducted. So they provide a support to the research. They will have a clinicians, qualified clinician who does the research. Qualified doctors, they be a investigator or co-investigator to the such kind of a research. and monitor the research, whatever the research under the investigator supervision. The whole research will be, data will be collected, data will be monitored, and that's how they are contributing in the research. Public patients community. Patients, first of all, patients where we need, they are participants to the research, one of the key stakeholders in whole cycle of research. Volunteers, we can say in other language, we can say volunteers. So they participate in the research, whether it is a drug related research, device related research, they are the volunteers. The research first trialed on them. Community, they are from the community. So at the end, the community is taking that research first on their body, and that results are helping to everyone, to all of us. And last but not least, ethics committees. Now, who are they? Ethics committees is committees which review and clears the research proposal before the actual research starts. So ethics committee is a regulatory committee. They regulates the research. They review the research. They provide oversight, continued oversight to the research. And they ensure the research has a less risk and more benefit. So post their approval only, research can be conducted. So for the information of you friends here, none of the research can be executed without approval from the ethics committee. Many times we only researcher ourselves decide my research does not require approval from the ethics committee, because we feel that there is nothing, it is very simple study. But it is not like who we decide that the my research does not require the approval. It is the ethics committee can tell that maybe your research does not require the ethics committee approval. But before that, I want to make you very clear that as per the rules and regulation, the research which is conducted on the publicly available data, that only not required the ethics committee approval. Rest of the research is required the ethics committee clearance. So it is a very straightforward. If you are doing the research and the same data and same research is already available on public domain, then you may not have to go for the ethics committee clearance. Otherwise, in all the cases, yes. Now, guiding principles during development phase. During development phase, so when you are developing your AI-based technology, AI-based medical device, what are the points which you need to take care? Transparency, consent, obtain the consent before you start testing, privacy protection, feedback mechanism. Now, feedback mechanism, how it comes? While doing the testing, sometime first you start with the pilot testing. Pilot testing is the testing which is sometime it is to be done on the prototype of the device, just for the getting the data and improvising your own product. Then the pivotal is on the larger population. And third, even post marketing. Once product is in market, so you don't have to stop getting feedback. So feedback mechanism should be there. Truthful information, provide transparent informations. Limitation, collect only necessary data. Existing data, use the existing data set. So as already we mentioned, don't just go and collect the data which is even not required. Be clear what is required and they collect only that data. Compliance, diversity, bias reduction, consent waivers, wherever required, you can go for the consent waivers. Quality maintenance, every step of your development, please ensure quality aspect is taken care, and feedback and iterations. So this is how the whole cycle of the development, you have to take care of all these important parameters. Now, guiding principles for clinical and other health related deployment. So now your AI based technology is ready to public use. It is ready to deploy at the hospital setup. It is ready to deploy at the healthcare organization setup. And after that, what? You have taken care of all the parameters which you supposed to at the time of the development, but after deployment, there are few points which we have to take care, that the health professional awareness, those who are using that device, product, they should be informed about data usage, safety measures, and all appropriate training which is required. You have developed, but the person at the end users who is using is not aware of about your device, aware of about the data usage, safety measures, then again there is a challenge. So the health professionals should be aware. Local validation. So friends, validation is very important. If you see the good clinical practices guideline, again ICH GCP, it has clearly mentioned you can use the technology subject to computer system validation. So each and every technology, there is nothing wrong to use the technology, but you should use, and especially in the healthcare, you should use that the technology which is validated technology. Rigorous evaluations. Keep evaluating AI technology in various situations. So you might have performed the testing in some specific situations. Keep evaluating in a different situations. And without robust data, evidence-based, you do not implement directly on that particular situation. So first evaluate. Functional understanding. As we mentioned, the functional understanding also should be there with the health professional. Responsibility and accountability to be defined, and compensation mechanism. Researchers have to, on the sponsors, the funding agencies, they all should be clear. If your responsibility and accountability is defined, then this compensation is also in case of any unexpected event because of your device. If something went wrong, then you have to accept that the responsibility and you have to compensate that situation. So in a hospital, just one example, in a hospital, doctors undergo training on AI-based diagnostic tools, learning about their limitations and biases. Before using these tools for the patient diagnosis, the hospital validates their performance locally. See, the validation is required. If any adverse event arises from tool uses, the hospital and AI developers are responsible for compensating affected individuals. This is not we are telling, this is our rule says that any related injuries to be compensated by the sponsors. So these are the all ethical principles which we have discussed, and again, like ethical principles including autonomy and all we discussed, patient safety, data confidentiality is very important, transparent communications which we talk about, doctors require training, the training, essential trainings also has to be there, and researchers must ensure the rigorous testing and accountability mechanisms, and collaborations also we discussed about the collaboration. So this was the conclusion, that what all the points which we discussed in the presentations. And now we have a few minutes with us where we can discuss if you have any specific questions related to the presentation and related to the use of the ethical perspective, use of the technology in clinical research in healthcare.
Any questions, please do drop down in the comment section.
So, friends, if you have questions, I think let's even we can interact here, and you can post us the questions even later too. But I hope this presentation has helped you in, at least the guiding. Maybe we not as a like we are not like AI experts as we mentioned, but at least ethically when you plan the research or when you plan a development of the such kind of a technology into the healthcare, you all have to take care of the all ethical principles.
Apart from the other questions which is coming up or which people have planned to write down, I just wanted to know, Sudhir, is it what kind of a if you say it's a medical device, will it go as perspective of what today the clinical pathways are? Or will it be classified as A, B, C, D, or it has a separate altogether different ways of understanding what exactly this entire medical device space is? So if let's assume that we are using something like diagnostic purposes, so will it be called as a class D device or which is obviously using in AI perspective, will it be using as a class D device or it will be a class C or a class B device?
Okay, so Dr. Aditya, the first of all, it falls under the medical device only. I mean, see any kind of a device, whether it is a diagnostic purpose or maybe the other the
Therapeutic
use,
purposes.
yeah, therapeutic purpose, but it all falls under and controlled by the medical device. We have a complete separate, in fact, the rule, medical device rule, which was first time released in year 2017, Medical Device Rule 2017, and later there were many amendments into that, and it controls by that the agency which controls is a CDSO, same agency who controls the drug related research, they control it. Now, there it is very clear that each and every device is classified with the ABC, that the device based on their type of the how what kind of device it is. So depends on their complexity, depends on the nature of the device, whether it is the device which goes into the body or the device. Sometimes the diagnostic device, which is not a active medical device, is you collect the blood sample. It's like typical HBGM, home blood glucose monitoring. So it's a diagnostic device, but that also falls under the device, and it comes under the class where the less risk, very less risk is there. The device falls under the class A, and the subsequently the depends on the device, cannot define right away, but after reviewing the device, the functionality, then only we can talk about. In fact, this today our session is more related to the artificial intelligence, and where artificial intelligence comes in the software. So software as a medical device, SAMD, software as a medical device, they have come up with that, and that also falls under the medical device. So generally software, what it does, they interpret the data, the radiological images are there into the system. With the help of AI, you interpret and you throw some result, the conclusive results. That also comes under the device, and that falls under the device. If I am not wrong, maybe that falls under the class B device. So for such kind of device as well, we have to do the testing, clinical testing. Now in clinical testing, in my previous presentation also we have discussed there are two types of clinical testing. one is related to the performance evaluation. So whichever the diagnostic device is there, that goes under the performance evaluation, only CPE. But the device which touching the body part goes inside the body and touching the body part, there we have to do the clinical investigation.
So there's a question from, I guess, Pragvamshu, who's talking about how to get funding for clinical research. So do you have any, apart from CSR, obviously, so do you have any ways of getting or securing a funding for any clinical research? Because medical devices generally have a longer incubation period for getting a clinical regulatory pathway cleared, starting from ISO till probably phase 3 of clinical trials.
I think Dr. Aditya, this question you can answer in better way, more than me. But yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, we
I would
can.
definitely would like to know your perspective first,
Yeah,
because
yeah. So
we do it. Yeah.
whatever the limited knowledge, the what we have currently, as for here, I think all are our technology related, either a researcher or students or maybe the experts. But as you know, that government knows that this is the uh, the field, or this is the area which requires more support from the agencies, more support of the fund. Because as you correctly mentioned, the life cycle is the same, like starting from the development till the going into the market. So the first, if you see, like recently they have come up with one online tool, as I don't remember the name, but recently government has launched one online tool which gives you the one-stop solution for not funding, but at least to pathway
Entire phase
to,
of, yeah,
yeah,
entire
an
phase of
entire
how
phase
much,
of the
yeah, exactly.
till the regulatory you can go there, at least the guidance. So that has one initiative taken by the government. Second thing is, government is ICMR, BIRAC, and all these government agencies regularly coming up with the proposals for the research. So there you have to go and approach them. It maybe you can refer their website as well, and there keep circulating the proposals. It is called RFP, request for proposal. And that request for proposal is, if your ideas and the thoughts are definitely, if it is a selected, then there is a possibility of getting a direct grant from the government. So that is a second. And third is the incubators. If you all are registered on the Startup India, the website, there you may find many incubators, and the relevant incubators incubate to you in terms of your thought process as well as the funding. So these are the few suggestions. And apart from that, the individual sponsors also you may get, who is interested in your product and take it to the next level.
So to add on to this, probably we are also the right people to talk about the clinical trials and where to get the funding. So initially, it all depends on the level of the product. So considering an ideation stage to validation stage, government funds something called as Nidhi EIR, so which is basically entrepreneur in residence. That is typically used to convert idea to a proof of concept. So it's a 30,000 rupees stipend per month. And then from proof of concept to minimum viable product, which basically needs your IP regulatories and to understand the ISO pathways and also clinical trial pathway. With this Nidhi Prayas fundings, you can generally do a clinical trials. Following up with it, you have, based on the device which uses software or software technologies or manual technologies or any kind of a software based algorithms are there, then you can apply for MATI Tide 2.0, which is actually open. You can also get a lot of other research based fundings only focusing on clinical trials through BIRAC's many of these different projects and proposals, which they keep on releasing once in every 3 to 6 months based on the product what is available. So after that, you also have, if it is a very deep science, for example, class D devices, which takes a lot of more time for them to get a good sample and also to get a good views of it. We probably have something called as Nidhi Triple S and Nidhi SISFS funds, but this will be only given if you have already done a product testing. And SISFS is basically given for you to understand that the validation of that device is there, and you're using it just to make sure that you use the entire grant amount for testing, clinically validating it through clinical trials for the phase 2 and phase 3 of your so-called project. So you have fundings. Only thing is you need to reach out to the right incubators at the right time. For example, if you reach out to Derbi Foundation at this moment for any of the higher product or higher tranches for grants, it is very difficult because March we have to submit the UCs and all. So it's better. It's always good to approach any incubator, uh, especially in the early days of April and May and June, because that is where you have a lot of funds which has been released from the government for the next current financial year, and then they will probably pick up your project based on the founders and based on interest which is generated by the incubator. So clinical trials, yes, definitely you have fundings. Only thing is you need to understand where exactly and who exactly at what time they are giving. You can always reach out to us and we will help you out in that field. So I think that's it. Any other questions? Anyway, we'll keep continuing these conversations around. Um, So as we draw the curtains on this session on AI and ethical guidelines with Mr. Sudhir, keep an eye on the space as we intend to conduct many more follow-ups of these sessions on many other topics, which is relevant to clinical trials and the regulatory pathway. In case if you have any questions related to this session, or in case you have any ideas of, or if you want any support, as you have rightly said, you can always write down to clinical@derbyfoundation.com, or you can always reach out to us on derbyfoundation.com on LinkedIn. We from the Derby family extend our deepest gratitude to Mr. Sudhir for sharing his ideas, opinions, and thoughts on how to crack this AI regulatory platforms for a better understanding of the ecosystem. Thank you all for joining today, and until we meet next time, let's remain dedicated to the collective pursuit for a healthier and a brighter future and of the population. Thank you. Thank you, Sudhir.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Aditya. I
Yeah,
think thanks to everyone as well. And any support from our end, Dr. Aditya, you can reach out to us at any time. Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
So thank you. Looking forward. Okay.